Stream is off to a good start, I hope. When you guys come in, you might notice the idea of the stream tonight. We're talking wrestling. We're talking pro wrestling tonight. Something I've talked about before, this time about last year, which was WrestleMania 34. Talked about spoilers and potential matches and predictions. We'll talk more about that going into the stream tonight. Starting a little early to make sure everything starts up really well. You may know some hoarseness in my voice as you come into the stream. I do apologize. I'm getting over a nasty cold. I've been fighting for the last 3 or 4 days. Picked up at work. Had about 101 fever yesterday, and I'm fighting through it. So I have some cough drops I'm going to be going through today on the stream, as well as we're doing some Mountain Dew Code Red today. I've had tons of ginger ale. I have tons of Powerade. I need something a little more caffeine in it to keep me going through the stream. I could have canceled the stream tonight, but I didn't really want to do that. I don't like canceling streams. Just that's the type of content creator I am. I don't like putting out content. Actually putting off content, rather. I like trying to give as much content as I possibly can. And there's going to be some big changes coming out during the 3rd-year anniversary. I'm going to talk about that on the 3rd-year anniversary video. Some tweaks I'm going to be making to the content, and I think for the better. So that's going to be coming up when I talk about that in about 3 or 4 months. That's down the road. Again, drink of choice tonight, guys, is some Mountain Dew Code Red. Hopefully you guys will tune into the stream tonight. If you're not wrestling fans, I can understand why you want to bypass this stream tonight. It's going to be me doing a lot of talking or trying to get through it. Cold and all, you can hear it in my voice. I'm going to be talking a lot of wrestling. It's going to be a really wrestling-centric stream tonight. If you're not a fan of pro wrestling, you might want to tune out this particular stream. I'm going to give you my thoughts. If you miss it tonight, you can take a look at it on video on demand. You can catch up on that content when it goes live about an hour or so after the stream ends tonight. Again, like I said, I'm getting over this cold, fighting as much as I possibly can. Starting a stream a couple minutes early so people can get into the stream. Again, pro wrestling is a very niche group of people. You have to really like sports entertainment, pro wrestling as it is now. It's now called sports entertainment. It's originally called pro wrestling. And it's something that I grew up with when I was very, very young. And I still really like pro wrestling. It's more like attuned to a male soap opera. That's what I kind of, when I speak to my girl about it, I say I'm going to be watching my male soap opera tonight, and she knows I'm watching wrestling. She even watches pro wrestling from time to time, so she's going to be watching WrestleMania with me, probably on the repeat, on the replay. Probably not that particular day. Hey, Anna, thanks for coming into the stream tonight. We're going to be talking a lot of wrestling. It's going to be a heavy wrestling-centric stream tonight. I'm getting over my cold. You may hear it in my voice. I have my handful of cough drops I'm going to be taking during the stream, just because like I said, I'm battling this particular cold. Very, very rough. So I'm going through it right now as we speak. So, stream starts in about 4 minutes. You might hear me cough from time to time during the stream tonight. I do apologize ahead of time. Like I said, I've been battling this cold for about 3 days now. It hit pretty hard last night. I had about 101 fever. It finally broke about 9:10 this morning, so I've been very, very lucky. You have to go to the doctor, nothing along those lines. But I wanted to talk wrestling tonight, pro wrestling, and it's going to be broken down into basically 3 parts. Since it's a very, very heavy pro wrestling weekend, it's probably one of the biggest pro wrestling weekends we've had in a long, long time. Excuse me. And it's going to be a lot of content to really absorb this particular weekend. We have NXT TakeOver New York, which will be Friday night. We have 2 shows that are coming out on Saturday. We have the WWE's Hall of Fame. But the real big thing that I want to really hit home on is the G1 Supercard. That is an independent show being sponsored by 2 wrestling promotions, by Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're doing a joint collaboration in a very important arena. I'll talk about that shortly. And of course, near the end of the stream, we'll talk about WrestleMania 35, which is going to, they're slating it in for an 8-hour broadcast. 8 hours. I don't know how I'm going to watch 8 hours of TV. I don't know how I'm going to do that, guys. If you just came into the stream, drink a choice. We're doing some Mountain Dew Code Red tonight. I've been drinking ginger ale all day, drinking Powerade all day. I've been on meds all day. I've been fighting a very, very wicked cold. I got it from my work. It seems like an allergy attack that just basically ran rampant. Half my office was out of work on Wednesday of last week. There were like literally about 60 to 70% of the staff was all gone. They were all sick. That's how bad this cold hit our office really was. Me, I knew it was coming down from an allergy. I think they're doing a lot of construction upstairs. It's a 4-story building, and we're on the bottom floor. And I think a lot of construction, a lot of the building has built up a lot of dust and debris. And I think it's seeping through the walls, and it's really getting people sick. So definitely not a good thing. So let's start off this particular stream. I got my notes here. So let's first off talk about this whole stream is going to be garnered around pro wrestling. It's going to be sports entertainment. We're talking about 3 shows. I'm leaving out the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not too concerned with that. We're talking about WWE NXT TakeOver New York. We're going to be talking about the G1 Supercard, which is a Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling joint promotion event. And we're talking WrestleMania 35. So we're going to start that stream off in a minute. I want to thank everybody who came into the stream tonight. Hopefully you guys can enjoy it. I'm going to try to entertain you as best I possibly can. Hey, Jackie, thanks for coming into the stream tonight. We're talking a lot pro wrestling tonight. We're doing a lot of pro wrestling stuff. One thing I will talk about is that you will... Oh, awesome, Bizarre Supergirl. Glad you like it. I know that Admiral Akbar uploads some of the streams to his Collecting and Hobby channel as well. He usually puts a link into the bottom of the World Wrestling Podcast episode so you can get to the other one, because we have a limited bucket of time that we can put the episodes on. So you'll see the new ones on the Collecting and Hobby as well. I did one recently where it was my top 10 most anticipated independent wrestling matches. That's one I did. I was very, very proud of that particular podcast. I really hit up the idea of classic anticipated matches that's not WWE, and I didn't want to slate it into WCW because that was more mainstream. I was talking ECW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor. That's what I was talking about for independent wrestling. I could even went into deeper. I could have even made the list longer, but I wanted to set it for 10. I even had some double items in that list, but I really enjoyed that list. It was very, very fun putting that list together. You might hear Bizarre Supergirl, some hoarseness in my throat. I'm getting over a very bad cold. I've been fighting it for the last 3 days. I had a fever yesterday, so it broke finally this morning. So, with that being said, let's get into the stream tonight, guys. There's going to be a toy hunt this Thursday. Normally it's going to go up on Sunday. It's going to go up on this Thursday. I'm going to be going out most likely to some Walmarts, looking up for the new Wrestlemania Walmart exclusive figures, the basic and elite figures. And I'm going to try to get my hands on the Charlotte Flair Funko. I've seen it at FYE. I'm going to try to track that down on a toy hunt this Thursday. So keep an eye open for that. Instead of me doing a Funko review or an action figure review or a statue review, it's going to be a toy hunt this Thursday. So keep your eyes open for that. So, let's talk the big show that's happening this coming Friday, which would be Friday, April 5th. That's NXT TakeOver New York. Usually the NXT TakeOvers precede a WrestleMania event. They're usually or a big wrestling event. Usually TakeOver shows are very, very good. They're really, really good. Some of them will really wrap up a long, drawn-out storyline. Apologies. The big news leading up to TakeOver was the relinquishing of Tommaso Ciampa's NXT title. He was the heavyweight champion in NXT. He had a very, 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 very bad, I think it was a neck injury, and he had to go for surgery. And he's out approximately. I heard the diagnosis was 6 to 8 months, possibly longer. It is very, very bad stuff he had, and they were going to culminate into literally a 2.5-year story with him and Johnny Gargano. That was the idea when they broke up the tag team with DIY. When Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny, they had takeover match over takeover match over takeover match and really stole the show. They're going to culminate that storyline this coming Friday, but it didn't happen because Tommaso Ciampa got injured. They had, I think, a 4-person tournament for the number 1 contender for that belt, and going into that match is going to be Johnny Gargano against Adam Cole. So here are the matches. There's 5 matches on the NXT TakeOver card. Usually it's about a 2.5-hour show. Could be a little longer. Usually it's about 2.5 hours or so. Their shows are much less than, let's say, WrestleMania because there's less matches. So there's 5 matches. So let's talk about them now. We have the War Raiders, which is Hanson and Rowe, who are the NXT champions, versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. what I think about that match. I'll give you my predictions as well. I'm going to try to keep this to 30 minutes. I might have an overrun by about 10 minutes. I don't know yet. This is very, very easy to predict, mainly because Ricochet and Aleister Black got called up to the main event on the main roster already. They're performing on both Raw and SmackDowns. I seriously doubt they're going to pull the belts off of War Raiders to give them to Black and Ricochet. They could swerve the fans, could swerve the smart marks like me, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think the belts are going to stay on the War Raiders. Next, we have Pete Dunne versus Walter. If you've never watched Walter before, he is a huge man. Big, tall guy. He's a British wrestler, and he doesn't really sell really well. He really has a chop that sounds like a gunshot. He's very, very stiff, very, very strong style sort of guy against Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. That's what his nickname is. For the UK Championship, the UK NXT Champion. Pete Dunne has been that champion since he's taken the belt off for Tyler Bates. He's held the belt for, I think, a year and a half, a good chunk of time. I could be wrong on the time, so please correct me. So I think on that one, I think they're going to probably keep the belt on Pete Dunne. I don't think they're going to pull it and give it to Walter yet. Walter is a great wrestler, but he's still going through the development in the UK, the NXT UK, because he's not part of the normal NXT brand. He's part of the NXT UK brand. So I think they're going to keep the belt on Pete Dunne. Expect a good match. As I mentioned, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole for the now vacant NXT Heavyweight Championship. I think they're going to go with Adam Cole. Johnny was moved up to the main event roster as well as Tommaso Ciampa. Unless they're going to keep Johnny back in NXT, I don't think they're going to leave the belt on Johnny. It would make sense, because he's been fighting for that belt for years. I would love for Johnny to get the belt. He's sort of what they call a tweener right now. He's a good guy and a bad guy. He's been wearing costumes that are comic-centric. He wore stuff for the Dark Phoenix on the last TakeOver show. He's worn outfits based on the Punisher, based on Venom. Very anti-hero-esque characters. So, I don't know what he's going to be wearing for his gear for TakeOver, but I expect him to have a good match, but I don't think he's going to pull the belt. I don't think he's going to... I think they're going to put the belt on Adam Cole. I think they're going to keep the Undisputed Era together as a unit. I don't think they're going to call him up right now. So I think Adam Cole's going to win the match on that one, become the new NXT champion. Next, we have Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle for the NXT North American title. This one, I think they might give the belt to Matt Riddle. I really think they do. I think Velveteen Dream's getting to a point now where they might call him up. Maybe after WrestleMania. Maybe during the next Superstar shakeup. I think Velveteen Dream is on the cusp of moving to the main event roster. I think they want to put the belt on Matt Riddle, because the NXT North American belt is very similar to their United States Championship belt or their Intercontinental belt on the WWE brand. It's the second main belt, because they don't have another main event belt in NXT. They only have really two belts. They have the main heavyweight championship, and you have your tag team belts, and the women's have their belt as well. They also have a piece of it when it comes to the women's women's tag team belts, which are battle across all brands. So they can technically get that belt as well. Sorry for a little drool there. My apologies. Like I said, I'm getting over this nasty cold. So I think on this one, Matt Riddle's going to pull the win. I think Riddle's going to pull the win on this one. I agreed, AA. But since I don't watch NXT, I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to change this card. And let me make just a precursor going to all this information. This is coming off of Wikipedia. These are the current matches as far as the recording up to Raw, SmackDown, and NXT on their go-home shows this week. So this is all subject to change. But this is currently what it's listed as. I think Matt Riddle's going to win that one. And next we have Shayna Baszler, who's the champion, versus Io Shirai versus Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane. I honestly think Baszler's going to drop the belt. It's rather obvious. Hey, Bob Dwan, thanks for coming back, dude. Oh, dude, no problem, dude. Don't worry about that. I know trolling. I know negativity. If you have to take off time to get out of YouTube, to refresh your head, recharge your batteries, man, that's okay. Don't worry about that. I missed you. Glad you're back. We're talking all pro wrestling. Hopefully you like wrestling stuff, because this stream is all wrestling-centric. What I think on this one, I know, as I mentioned before, Baszler's going to drop the belt. I don't think she's going to retain. When you have a 4-person match like this, usually the champion is always is in dire straits, because someone else can get pinned for the champion to lose the belt. If I wanted to put the belt on someone, I might put it on either Io Shirai or Bianca Belair. I think Kyrie is at a point to be called up, and I know that Shayna Baszler is probably going to be called up. Maybe to replace the Ronda Rousey piece. Awesome, dude. So I think in this one, Shayna's going to go. I think probably after Superstar Shakeup or after WrestleMania, she's going to probably go into probably Raw to pick up the spot that's going to be left with Ronda Rousey. We'll talk about that shortly. But I don't think Shayna's going to retain the belt in this one. I think Io's going to get it or Bianca Belair. I don't think Shayna Baszler's going to retain, at least for that. Now, there's only, like I said, 5 matches for NXT. It's a smaller card. Usually they have about 4 matches. So that's my NXT breakdown and kind of deep dive into it here. So that's NXT TakeOver New York. That's going to be coming up April 5th on a Friday this week. Next we have, going over here to, let me close that tab. Next we talk the G1 Supercard. Now, I mentioned this before. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you might know that WWE has had a stranglehold on MSG, Madison Square Garden, for a while. For about, I think, over 20-25 years. Ever since, like, the absorption of WCW into WWE, no one's really held a card at MSG except the WWE brand. That's it. No one else has done it. This is a first in a long time that someone else has gotten the reins, and there was a power struggle for even this to happen because Ring of Honor wanted to book MSG, and they were shot down by WWE lawyers. Then they got New Japan Pro Wrestling involved. They got a bunch of people together, and they went against their lawyers, and they said, hey, WWE, if you're not booking anything here, these guys want our building. They're going to pay us for our building. You're not going to pay us? Then you know what? They're going to pay us. We want them there. So on April 6th, a day before WrestleMania, the G1 Supercard is going to take place. Now, this is going to be a Ring of Honor and New Japan co-branded pay-per-view. It's going to be a pay-per-view event taking place the night before WrestleMania. And it's very, very... It's really hitting on the battle line, drawing the battle lines in the sand, so to speak, when Ring of Honor and New Japan are trying to push this event. So... let's talk about what this entails. It's going to be a 11-card event taking place at Madison Square Garden. This is no particular order, so I don't know if they're going to have a pre-show or not. I haven't been keeping up a Ring of Honor. I don't think I've been really keeping up with something called Villain Enterprises. Marty Scurll was part of a team called Bullet Club. He broke off from Bullet Club when his contract was he renegotiated his contract with Ring of Honor and New Japan since they have a working relationship. And what he decided to do was stay at Ring of Honor. AEW started up when all his friends went to that promotion. And they started up with the Khan family. That's Cody Rhodes, that's Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, etc. So he was still stuck in Ring of Honor, and he made a group called Villain Enterprises, where I believe he's their Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. Now, I could be wrong here. Let me just take a look to make sure I'm correct. I think I'm correct, but I could be off on it. Let me just skim it real quick here to make sure I'm just not speaking out of turn. I think he's their Ring of Honor champion. Again, I could be wrong, but I think he's their champion. No, excuse me, Jay Lethal's their champion. Hey, Captain Rex, thanks for coming in the stream tonight. Let me read AA here, 1 second here. Pardon me, I have cough drops, so that's what you hear. I like Asuka. They're just booking her the wrong way. UFC, invade UFC, main event, blah, 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 lose the title. Becky to set up the 4 horsewomen. I can see that. I was going to talk about that, AA. I'll talk about that. So, Jay Lethal is the Ring of Honor champion. So let's go to the beginning here, and we have the Honor Rumble. The Honor Rumble is going to be very similar to a Royal Rumble match. I don't know if they're going to have 20 guys or 30 guys. 2 guys start, and there'll be a guy coming in every few minutes. So they're doing their Honor Rumble match. Then you have Will Ospreay, a very, very famous British wrestler, known doing all the flippy stuff. He is the never openweight champion in New Japan, going against Jeff Cobb, who's the Ring of Honor TV champion. This is a winner-take-all match. So whoever wins gets both belts. Great, Bizarre Supergirl. Next we have Rush versus Dalton Castle in a singles match. Then we have Mayu Iwatani versus Kelly Klein, who are 2 female wrestlers. battling for the Women of Honor Championship. Then you have Bully Ray versus Juice Robinson in a New York style street fight. Then we have Taiji Ishimori, who is the light heavyweight champion, versus Dragon Lee versus Bushido. Excuse me, Bandito. If you're not aware, Dragon Lee is the guy who injured Takahashi. He broke his neck at the, I believe it was the Dominion show. He hit him with a, I think they call it, I think he called it his Dragonplex. It's a package suplex. It's a move that Kota Ibushi uses, but instead of hitting him and you really pick the guy and put the guy's legs on your shoulders and you cradle him, like you squeeze him like this in a suplex and you just flip backwards, he chucked him and he landed square on his head. I mean, he landed on his head and skidded. It looked very, 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 very bad. Okay, next, moving on. Sorry about that. I had a cough drop. Put another one in here. Next we have, let me go for who I think's going to win. So I give you the matches. On a Rumble, I don't know the competitors. I can't give you who's going to win that one yet. Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb is going to be Ospreay picking it up. Rush versus Dalton Castle. I love me some Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle is very flamboyant. He comes out with the boys, guys that are dressed up in peacock feathers, like a mask. They come out, they're bare-chested. They have little hand feathers, and they feather him with it. He comes out in a peacock outfit. He's a combination of, let's say, Freddie Mercury and the lead singer of the Rolling Stones, of Mick Jagger. That's what he says he kind of made his character like. So he's very, very flamboyant, almost like Goldust-esque. Let me just, sort of like a homosexual overtones, but very, very misogynistic, very, very, very flamboyant when he comes out. I think Dalton's going to pick that one up. Kelly Klein versus Mayu Iwatani. I think Iwatani's going to retain. She's the champion. Bully Ray versus Juice Robinson. Everybody hates Bully Ray. He's a great worker. I don't think Juice is going to pull the win. I think Bully's going to have shenanigans. He's going to pull something off. Next we have the Guerrillas of Destiny. The GOD, part of the Bullet Club. Firing Squad. Tama Tonga versus Tangaloa. They're Haku's kids, if you didn't know. They're the they're from the IWGP Tag Team Champions. Versus Villain Enterprises, which is Marty Scurll's group, which is PCO and Brody King, who are the Ring of Honor champions. Versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, which is Evil and Sonata. Versus the Briscoe brothers, Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe. This is a winner-take-all 4-way tag team match for both the IWGP tag team belts and the Ring of Honor belts. As you notice, you'll see this winner-take-all happening a lot with their mashup here, because those guys work both promotions. So they'll take the belts from promotion to promotion. So it's interpromotional. If I could pick a winner on this one, I might go, because one of the things about Sonata and Evil, on big money pay-per-view matches, they rarely lose. I think Sonata and Evil are going to pull off the win. I really do. I love the GOD. I love the Guerrillas in Destiny. Villain Enterprise, I don't know much about PCO and Brody King. And I know a lot about the Briscoe brothers. They've held the belts like 8 or 9 times, some ridiculous number. I think LJP is going to, LIJ, that's the initials. I think they're going to take the win there. Next, probably one of match I know that AA would like, Zack Sabre Jr., one of my favorite independent wrestlers of all time, versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the British Heavyweight Championship. Zack Sabre has lost that belt before. He lost it to the Pitbull, the Stone Pitbull. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he lost the belt to him for a while. I can't remember, I'm drawing a blank on the name. I'm going to look it up here. 1 second. It's bothering me. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to look it up here. The Stone Pitbull is his nickname. I know that for a fact. Pitbull wrestler. That's his nickname. Give me a second. You might hear a little bit of silence for a second when I look it up. Tomohiro Ishii, that's his name. Crazy looking guy. If you've never seen Ishii before, It's that guy. That's Tomohiro Ishii. Crazy guy. Crazy, crazy guy. Zack Sabre lost the British Heavyweight Championship to him, and he lost it for a while. I can see the pulling the belt off of Zack, but since he wrestles all the time in the British, in like Rev Pro, that's where this belt comes from, is Rev Pro. I don't think Tanahashi's going to take it. He's made Tanahashi tap before. I think they're going to keep the belt in Zack Sabre. Next we have Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi. That might be the match that steals the show. Naito is the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. A champion, that belt's going to be on the line. I can see putting the belt on Ibushi, but they both wrestle in NJPW. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger or not. Naito is an awesome heel. Everybody hates Naito. I can see this match going either way. I can really see it going either way, but I think they're going to keep the belt maybe on Naito. Next we have for the for the Ring of Honor belt, it's going to be Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll versus Matt Taven. I think they're going to put the belt on Marty. I think they'll put the belt on Marty because they want to sweeten the deal, because eventually when his contract does expire in I think another year or two, he's probably going to go to AEW to be with his friends. I think this might have been part of his contract to come into Ring of Honor. So this may be the reason why they're going to put the belt on him. That's what I think. And last but not least, Jay White, leader of Bullet Club, NJPW Heavyweight Champion, IWGP, versus Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada won the New Japan Cup, and he got a shot here for Jay White's belt. As much as I would love Okada to win, they need to keep the belt strong on Jay White. Okada needs the win, but Jay White needs it more. So I think Jay White's going to pick up the win here. So that's the G1 Supercard. That's going to be coming out on Saturday, April 6th. I have my calendar, make sure I look there properly. So that's the Supercard. G1 Supercard, NJPW Ring of Honor co-branded event. I'm going to check a look at the stream here, see what I missed. Drink of choice tonight, guys, is Mountain Dew Code Red. We're going to be popping into drink number 2. I need more caffeine, guys. I need more caffeine. Woo! All right, let's go with the big show of the Immortals. The 8-hour card of WrestleMania. Now, this is a card subject to change based on the go-home show of Raw tonight, which I have not yet watched. I'm not watching any of it until after the stream, and SmackDown tomorrow. So, let's start at the bottom of the card. I don't know what the kickoff show is. I don't know yet. I'm guessing it's probably going to be this one. It's going to be the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. I'm assuming all the people who are not booked on the show are going to be stuck into this Women's Battle Royal. Expect that probably on the kickoff show. Again, this is not in any particular order. I'll start back at the top of the card. Actually, I'll start at the bottom. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the SmackDown Heavyweight Championship belt. The Hemp Championship, if you will. Kofi's been going through a long storyline to fight for this belt, and I can really see them pulling the belt off of Daniel here. I really see it happening. If it's not pulled off, expect shenanigans. Eric Rowan, or Rowan be interfering, or maybe even returning Luke Harper, or possibly Bray Wyatt. That could actually happen. That'd be the only way to keep the belt on Bryan. I can see Kofi winning the belt, but I don't know if they want to elevate him to the main event now. Because this spot here should have been Mustafa Ali's spot. When he was injured, everything you see happening with Kofi should have been happening with Mustafa Ali. They were trying to push him to the main event, and this would have been his push. But Kofi got over so much with the fans that WWE ran with this storyline. So everyone will know. If you didn't know, that's what's really happening. Let me pull back the curtain a little bit so you know. That's what's really happening here, guys. So I see Kofi picking up the win, provided there's no shenanigans. Next we have the Boston Hug Connection, Bayley and Sasha Banks, which are the Women Tag Team Champions, versus the Divas of Doom. I don't know why they call them that, the Divas of Doom, that's their name. Beth Phoenix and Natalya, versus the Iconics, versus Nia Jax and Tamina. I don't think Bayley and Sasha are going to lose the belt here. I really don't think that happening here. I can see it out in WrestleMania, but I don't see it happening here. If it happened, I would expect a heel turn by one of the two. Probably, I would love to see Sasha go back heel. Even better to push Bayley as a heel because she's such a good guy. She's a babyface. This could be the shot in the arm that she could have used. Very similar to what happened to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch became the bad guy, then became a tweener, became the female version of Steve Austin, and now it's the highest selling merch in the entire WWE branded company at all. She has the most selling merch out of anyone, male or female. So I think the Boss and Hug Connection are going to win that one. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I expect Roman to win here. He came back because of leukemia, came back as a strong babyface now. It's pretty bad when you have to take a real-world event that happened to somebody's life, that they really fought death, to come back and to have the fans on their side now. They were trying for close to 3 to 4 years to make Roman Reigns relevant, and it took a real-world disease to put him over. The leukemia put him over, not Roman himself. Him being a cancer survivor put him over, not his personality, not his ring work. At least from my personal opinion, he's a good worker. I have no problem with the guy, but being forced down your throat so hard and so much, the fans saw through this, and they turned on him, and that's what happened. So that's what I expect happening there. Next, we have Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor. Expect it will be very much iconic. How to do that? My all-time favorite wrestler. I have a couple. I love Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, one of my favorites. I love. I talked about this for a while. I love Mitsuzo Misawa. I loved older wrestling. I loved Kenny Omega, one of my favorite wrestlers. One of my favorite tag teams. I love the Young Bucks. More modern-esque wrestling. But that's some of my favorite wrestling. I like a lot of the independent stuff, as you may know, or maybe you might not even know. Myself and Collecting Hobbies host a wrestling podcast called the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast. He handles a lot of the WWE content. I handle the independent stuff. So that's why I'm talking through this now. And I'll be doing a prediction on the World Wrestling Podcast, Bizarre Supergirl, in a few days. So you'll hear this again going up. Moving on, Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor. This is probably going to be the debut again of the Demon. I expect the Demon to come out here. We haven't seen the Demon since SummerSlam, I think 2 years ago, I believe. Expect the Demon to show up at WrestleMania. He usually only brings it out for big events. I expect the Demon to show up here. If you don't know who the Demon Finn Balor is, he comes out with face paint, face and body makeup. He's been doing it for big shows. He really broke it out originally in Japan, is where he debuted the Demon character. So expect that to happen there. I think Finn's going to probably, as the Demon, take the IC belt from Lashley. Next we have Samoa Joe, who's a U.S. champion, versus Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio will have Dominic, his son, who is like 5'11", 5'12", against the 5'5" Mysterio. It looks very, very odd. He'll be in his corner. So Samoa Joe, I expect something maybe happen with Dominic. Maybe to get involved in a match. Maybe to get choked out by Joe and Rey might snap. I expect maybe to pull the belt off of Joe and give it to Mysterio. I don't think Mysterio's ever held the U.S. Championship. Next we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, you're going to think this is odd, but I think who I think is going to win this is going to be a two-time winner. I think Mojo Rawley's going to win this. And he's going to help getting it from Gronk. The guy from the New England Patriots. Rob Gronkowski. I think he's either going to interfere in the match or be part of the match. I think Mojo Rawley is going to steal it here. I believe he won a prior Memorial Battle Royal. I could be wrong, but I think he's won a prior one. I think he has won a prior one. This will be making him a two-time winner. For all the vignettes he's trying to do, I think he might win it. That's my go-to pick. Next we have AJ versus Randy Orton. I'm a big to answer Rainbow. Also a big AJ Styles fan. I've watched him growing through, let's say, when he was part of Impact and TNA. I loved his match Unbreakable with Joe Daniels and AJ. If you never watched that match, watch it. Great 25-minute match. You'll love it. AJ versus Orton. I think Orton's going to pick the win here. I'd love for AJ to pull it out, but I think Orton's going to pull the win off here. I love me some AJ Styles. Next, Shane McMahon versus Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This thing's probably going to go 15-20 minutes. They're going to brawl everywhere. I think in this one, I think the Miz is going to pick up the win. They're trying to make him a good guy now. I think the new Miz and Mrs. show is going to be kicking off shortly. This will give him even more momentum going into that show. So I expect him to get the win here. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. This match will not happen. I've thought about it before, and they are not going to be doing this. They had a massive amount of backlash from this. WWE's playing extremely close to the chest for John Cena. I expect either Baron Corbin's going to get jumped before the beginning of this match, and then Cena's going to come out as a replacement. And I think it will be apropos, and I even talked to AA about this, Collecting Hobbies, that if, sorry about that, my other page kicked off, so I'm going to be going here now. I lost my little tablet, so my page jumped. I do apologize for that, guys. Make sure the stream's still alive and it's still recording. Awesome. Let me go back up here to the top. I think it would be very apropos if we had a... Oh, move here. Hold on 1 second here, guys. Apologies. I got to fix stuff because everything got all cockeyed now. There you go. There we go. It would make a lot of sense if they brought Kurt Angle against, let's say, John Cena, and if Angle beat Cena with the same move he beat him with when Cena debuted, which was this weird, like, turning, like, three-quarter Nelson wrestling style pin, I think it would be an amazing way to end Angle's career by pinning the guy who became the biggest thing in wrestling with the same move that he broke him in with now, or even have, it'd be even better to have Cena beat Angle with that same three-quarter Nelson pinning move. I don't know if Cena has it in him to pull a move off like that, but I think that would be very, very cool. If they could do something like that, that would be very, very neat. If they could manage something like that. It was up here. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, that page, my little monitor died on me. Make sure everything's good here. John Cena! Exactly, Rainbow Optimus. Hey, Rainbow, if it takes someone like that to get you involved, as long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, man. But I think it's going to be John Cena. Next, Triple H versus Batista. I expect Triple H to go over here. This might get a little... I don't know if the WWE's going to do it. They might get a little color. It's supposed to be a grudge match. It may get a little vicious. There might be a little blood. Might be a little color. I don't know because it is very family friendly. I don't know. But I expect Triple H to take the win there in that particular match. That's very obvious there. Triple H will get the win there. Next we have Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. If anything was on the kickoff show, it'd be this match. Very cool, Rainbow. Make sure this is okay. Good. Buddy Murphy, great wrestler. Love him. To me, he's WWE's creation of Kenny Omega. I said it before. If you watch a lot of his moves, except for his finish, he does the knees very similar to Kenny Omega. His style, the way he moves in the ring, the way he's built is very much like a Kenny Omega. I expect Buddy Murphy to retain. I'll save the main event for last. Next, we have Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. They need to pull the belt off of Lesnar. I expect possibly the guy that he pushed in the Octagon in UFC to interfere in this particular match. I think that will happen in this particular match. That will cost Brock his belt. I think WWE is waiting long enough for Brock to get for this match. It hasn't happened yet. If he's still on a contract, if he's been renewing the contract, Brock might retain. They need to get the belt off of Brock because you have a main event level caliber elite athlete not showing up for your event and trying to go to big money pay-per-views. Brock's probably making, I think, between $750,000, probably close to $1 million for this appearance. He's making big money for this show. So I can see them pulling the belt off of Brock here and giving it to Seth. Next, we have Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. Ronda Rousey, of course, is the women's champion for Raw. Charlotte Flair is now the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble, had a long-standing storyline. I had her injured, out of the event, suspended, back into the event, and out of the event, then back into the event again. So it was just, just crazy with the storyline. I don't think even WWE was sure of the storyline. So what happens here is that if Ronda pins Charlotte, she gets both belts. If Charlotte pins Ronda, she gets both belts. If Becky pins either champion, she gets whoever's belt that is. I expect Becky to pin Ronda. That's what's going to happen here. That's the obvious way out. Ronda wants to start a family up. Her contract's expiring. I think it's still going on, but she's going to be off TV for an extended period of time. Expect Ronda to lose here, probably via submission. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Ronda's going to lose the belt here. That's what's going to happen. That's my thought going on to that event. And that, I believe, is the entire WrestleMania card. I got it all done in about 30 minutes. Very, very happy about that. I didn't think I could. So, yeah, got it done in 30 minutes. And that's about everything for this particular stream, guys. I want to thank everybody who came into the stream tonight. It was a good stream. Very happy to put it for you. Remember, I'm going to be doing my predictions for World Wrestling Podcast coming up shortly. I will put it into the stream in case Rainbow Optimus is still in here. If he wants to go to the World Wrestling Podcast, I will put the link in for you right now, because I usually don't put links into the stream. If Rainbow Optimus, you want to come in, you're more than welcome to. That is the link to our World Wrestling Podcast myself and Collecting and Hobby does. We have close to, I think, 45 episodes up now. We have a bunch of them that are archived. New ones have gone up on his channel, which is Collecting Hobbies. Click on that link if you want to listen to some really good, anywhere from 2 hours and under podcasts. Newer ones are usually broken up between 30 and 45 minutes. The older ones are about 2.5 hours. So we usually put those up twice a week. We're putting up more recent content. The Miz! So I want to thank everybody who came into the stream tonight. I'm going to be ending it off tonight. Remember, guys, I'm going to be doing a toy hunt this Thursday. I'm going to be looking for the Funko for Charlotte Flair. I'm going to be hitting a couple Walmarts up, looking for the new Walmart exclusive Elite figures. I'm probably not going to buy any, but I want to showcase them off to you so you can see what they look like and some of the basics that have hit the stores now. I want to thank everybody who came into the stream tonight. I'm going to be cutting it off now, guys. Thanks very much from the bottom of my heart. Even though I'm sick, I still brought it, did the best I possibly could. Being ill and all, I want to thank everybody who came into the stream. Again, thank you, Rainbow Optimus, Bizarre Supergirl, Jackie, everyone who came into the stream tonight, and of course, Collecting Hobbies. Take care, guys. I'm cutting it off in 3, 2, 1. Take care, and bye-bye.